stock market. Headline.
We start with the
On the stock market.
stock market.
Stock market.
I don't want anything to go down.
The stock market may. Now Indian stock markets opened lower on Tuesday.
Have you ever scrolled through your feed and seen that one stock, the one that everyone says is about to explode? You know the one. The charts are perfect. The catalysts are lined up. Every analyst and every forum post is screaming that if you don't get in now, you'll miss a chance of a lifetime. I saw it too, and I bought into it. Last year, I decided to put a significant chunk of my own capital into one single explosive stock play. I listened to the hype. I watched the charts. I was convinced I was early. I started this journey inspired by Warren Buffett. What happened next wasn't just a lesson. It was a complete dismantling of everything I thought I knew about how the market really works. So today, I'm not going to sell you a dream. I'm not going to give you false information or another hype list. Instead, I'm going to do two things. First, I'm going to show you exactly why the language of explosive stocks is a trap that burns most investors. And second, because I know you're here for opportunity, I'm going to show you where the real massive potential lies for 2026. Not in the hyped up talk about explosions, but in the powerful fundamental setups happening right now under the radar. This is about thinking differently. It's about solving the real problem. How do you find incredible growth without getting destroyed? Does that sound like a problem you face? If you're ready for that, let's get started. Let's get real about what explode actually means. When we hear it, we think of life-changing, vertical green lines. But in market terms, an explosion is usually one of two things: a massive, short-term momentum spike or a sudden revaluation because of new information. Both sound amazing. Both are incredibly dangerous. Here's the challenge, and it's a mental one. We're wired to want the big, fast win. We see someone post a 200% gain and think, I need that. So we jump in when we see the rocket taking off. But here's the brutal truth nobody on those forums will tell you. By the time a stock is being called explosive everywhere, the real move is often over. The early money, the smart money, has already positioned itself weeks or months before. What you're seeing is the finale. You're not buying a ticket for the launch. You're becoming the exit liquidity for the people who got in early. Think about it like a concert. The people who profit by the tickets the moment they go on sale, when no one's talking about it. The people who get crushed show up at the stadium the night of, willing to pay 10 times the price at the gates, only to find out the show's already halfway done. My one stock experiment last year, I was the guy at the gate. I bought the news after the rumor had already driven the price. The catalyst hit, the stock popped for about 20 minutes, and then it spent the next 11 months slowly bleeding out. I was right about the company's news. I was dead wrong about my timing. The explosion happened, and I was holding the bag. So if chasing explosions is a loser's game, what's the alternative? Do we just give up on growth? Absolutely not. The opportunity is even bigger, but it requires a complete mindset lift. The people who consistently profit from these big moves aren't psychic. They're not chasing the explosion. They're identifying the setup long before the fuse is lit. They look for companies with undeniable fundamentals and irreversible trends with a clear path to growth. But where the crowd isn't looking at, they buy when it's boring. They hold when nothing happens, and they have the discipline to sell when the crowd finally arrives and the explosion headline hits. That's the key. You don't want to be in the stock when it explodes. You want to be in it before and be ready to leave when the fireworks start. This brings us to 2026. The hype is deafening around a few giant names, but the real, massive opportunity isn't in chasing what already went parabolic. It's in the essential, foundational companies that are enabling this whole new era, the picks and shovels providers that are still trading at sensible valuations and haven't had their moment. This is where it gets exciting, because you, by sticking with this video, are now looking in the right place. You're not following the herd. You're positioning yourself ahead of it. So let's talk about 2026. I've identified 5 companies that fit this exact profile. These aren't penny stocks or hidden gems nobody knows. They are strong, fundamental leaders in critical, growing industries, particularly AI infrastructure and cybersecurity. They have monster total addressable markets, incredible financials, but crucially, they haven't had their Nvidia moment yet. The setup is there. The fuse is laid. Here's a quick preview of the logic. First, Vertiv. AI data centers are hitting a wall. Power and heat. This company is the gold standard in cooling solutions. As data centers get denser, this isn't optional, it's critical. Revenue growth is stellar, free cash flow is soaring, and the valuation is still reasonable for a company in this crucial choke point. Second, CrowdStrike. As the world and AI get more complex, threats get more sophisticated, CrowdStrike's platform is becoming mission critical. It operates on beautiful recurring revenue, owns a huge chunk of its market, and is just starting to translate growth into massive profitability. Third, Arista Networks. You can't have AI without insane amounts of data flying around inside data centers. Arista provides the high-speed networking gear that makes it all possible. Their financials are pristine, explosive revenue and cash flow growth with basically no debt. Fourth, Zscaler. The old firewall is dead. Zscaler secures how users and data access the cloud. As everything moves to the cloud, their importance grows exponentially. The numbers show a triple-digit revenue growth over 3 years and expanding free cash flow. And fifth, Datadog. When you run complex AI and cloud applications, you need to see what's happening. Datadog provides that visibility. It's a must-have tool with insane customer loyalty, fantastic growth, and incredibly efficient cash generation. Now, contrast these with the overhyped trio everyone's chasing on social media right now. Companies like some speculative into battery makers or unprofitable AI startups trading at 50x sales with negative cash flow and massive dilution. Can you see the difference in foundation? One approach is about buying solid setups. The other is about gambling on hype. I know which side I want to be on. So what happened when I invested in one explosive stock for a year? I learned that the biggest returns don't come from the explosion itself. They come from the patient, disciplined work of finding the setup long before the match is struck. The massive opportunity in 2026 isn't a mystery. It's in the essential engines of our digital future, companies with jaw-dropping fundamentals that are doing the hard, boring, critical work. Your job isn't to catch the rocket, it's to build the launch pad. If this shift in perspective resonated with you, if you're tired of the hype and want to focus on real, actionable strategy, then you're exactly who I make these videos for. And now I'd love to hear from you. What's your biggest challenge when trying to find great companies? Is it the noise, the timing, or something else? Have you ever been the guy at the gate like I was? Let me know in the comments below. Your input might just shape the topic of our next deep dive video. Thank you so much for watching.